Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Anyways, in this video you guys are gonna watch me create this beautiful brown sultry eye. It was super easy. I literally only used 2 palettes, so stay tuned. Alright you guys, we're gonna jump right into the video. As you can see, my brows are already done, so we're just gonna go into priming my eyes. I'm using the MAC Pro Longer Radiant Concealer in the shade NC42. I'm using a flat BH Cosmetic brush to apply this. I'm not applying this in any uniformed way, just enough to cover my eyes before I start my shadows. I'm then going to use a mini blending brush by BH Cosmetics, and I'm just going to buff this all out so I have an even canvas to work with. Now that it's even, we're going to jump right into blending these shadows. I'm using the Warriors palette by Juvia's Place, and we're going to go into that light brown shade on the second row. I'm using a MAC 222 brush in order to blend this all into my crease area. And we're just going to blend it all out until I have the color desired. As you can see, I keep going back into the palette just because I want to deepen up the color on my lid before I go forward. Now I'm going to do the same exact thing to the other eye. Now that I have the color desired, I'm going to start to cut my crease. I'm cutting my crease with a flat BH Cosmetic brush, and I'm going into the MAC Pro Longer Radiant Concealer in the shade NC42. I'm just going to cut my crease very lightly, just so the glitter and my shadows are able to be differentiated. If anybody knows how to stop the camera from doing that, please leave it in the comments because it was honestly irritating. So I'm just cutting my crease. I'm tapping and dragging the concealer along my lid, and I'm making sure I'm very steady, little strokes at a time. And I'm just going to stop my cut crease at the edge of my outer eye, and I'm going to do the other one and be right back. Now that both of my eyes are cut, I'm just going to clean it up a little bit just to make sure that both of my eyes are even. One of my cut creases was a little higher than the other, but it's okay because I'm going to go back into the Juvia's Place palette with the same exact color and just clean up above my cut crease. If you see me tapping my brush, I'm just tapping off any excess powder that may be on the brush that I do not need before I go in and blend everything together. Now that everything is clean, I'm going in with a flat, fluffy brush, and I'm just patting some white eyeshadow on top of my concealer to dry it up a little before I apply any glitter to my eyes. I don't want the glitter to get too caked up on my eyes, so I'm going to dry it down with a white eyeshadow. And we're going to do that to the other eye, and we'll be right back. Going back into my Juvia's Place palette, I'm going to use that gold shimmer color on the bottom row. And I'm going to use a flat brush to apply this to my eye. I'm just going to tap it on and make sure I cover the entire lid with this gold shimmer. This palette is so pretty. It is so pigmented. I'm using a dry brush in order to pack this shimmer on top of my eyes. So I'm just deepening up my outer corner before I started the other eye. So now that both of my eyes have this gold glitter on top, I'm just going into the Juvia's Place palette with the dark brown, and I'm just going to deepen up my outer corners of my eye. I wanted to give this eye look a little bit more definition, and the brown shade did give it that. And blend it all together. Your blend job is never done. I'm still just blending out that dark shade to my outer corner and just above my crease, just so everything looks even and seamless on my eyes. Now we're going to go into the NYX matte liner, and I'm just going to create a half wing before I apply my lashes. I was so annoyed when that happened, but I ended up going back into the Juvia's Place palette and just applying some gold glitter right on top of it just to cover the liner. I went ahead and applied my lashes, and as you can see, I'm putting some eyeliner right above my lash. That is to cover the lash band. So once that is done on both of my eyes, it's time to get into this face. So I'm priming my face today with Becca's primer. This is like my holy grail. How I apply this primer, I like to rub my hands together. I just feel like it activates the primer better. And then I'm going to apply it to my face. And then I just rub it all in. So we're going to use Cover FX foundation today. I haven't used this foundation in so long. It's just been sitting in my kit. So I decided why not use it today. I'm using a BH Cosmetics foundation brush in order to apply this foundation to my skin. I like to pat my foundation in just so I have an even application before I do anything else. And you just make sure everything is blended. I like to bring my foundation down to my neck just so I can make sure that everything matches. And blend. Now we're going to highlight. We're using MAC Pro Longer Radiant Concealer in the shade NC42 and NW45. And I'm going to put that on my mixing plate, and I'm going to combine these two colors together. Using that same flat BH Cosmetics brush, I'm going to apply this concealer under my eye, on my forehead, the bridge of my nose, above my lip and my chin. And I put a little bit around my mouth because these are the places that I would like to conceal. I kept sticking my eye with the brush, and it just was not a pretty sight. I love contour lines. Does anybody else love contour lines? If so, leave me a comment in the comments box. Now I'm just using my damp beauty blender to blend this all out. I like my concealer to dry down a little bit before I start to blend it out, just so that it doesn't move too much. But don't let it dry down too much where it doesn't move at all. And we're just gonna blend, blend, blend. I was clearly bumping. We're still using our damp beauty blender to blend this concealer. When you're finished blending, your concealer should still be visible, but it shouldn't be still sitting directly on top of your skin. I'm just going in with my foundation brush just to make sure that everything is blended out well. So as you can see, the foundation is not still sitting on top of my skin. It is still visible, but it is now blended. And now I'm going to contour my face with Makeup Revolution's concealer in the shade C18. I'm going to put this right on my cheeks. I usually put some on top of my forehead, but today I chose not to. And when I blend it out, I'm just going to apply some to my forehead with the excess product. I'm using the flat BH Cosmetics foundation brush to blend this all out, and I like to just tap my contour into my skin very lightly. I don't want this to move anywhere other than where I put it. And we're just going to make sure that is all blended out. Today we're going to set our face with Sacha Buttercup. This setting powder is amazing. But before I set everywhere that I concealed, I go in with my beauty blender just to make sure there's no creases under my eye. And I'm just going to apply some of that setting powder to my face. I like to blow some of the powder off because sometimes I pick up too much on my beauty blender and I don't want that much on my face. So I just blow the excess powder off. I'm setting everywhere that I put my concealer, and then I like to set under my contour just to cut my face a little. So I leave that setting powder on for maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds or so. I don't let it bake for too long. That's just my preference. And now I'm going to use a fluffy BH Cosmetic brush to press in the powder to my skin and then brush off the excess. Now we're going to go back into the Warriors palette and we're just going to smoke out our waterline with the same color we used for our lid. We're just going to smoke the waterline out. So just like how we set our highlight, we're going to set our contour. Using the Black Radiance palette, I'm going to use a BH Cosmetic brush to powder contour my face. I don't want too much product on the brush. This is a very light application. I'm going to use this product and I'm just going to pat it lightly onto my forehead and onto my cheeks. Using a fluffy brush, I'm just going to pat my face and make sure everything is blended well and make sure that there's no excess setting powder on my skin. Using this Bella blush by Juvia's Place, I'm going to take a Real Techniques blush brush and I'm going to lightly put some brush on the front of my cheeks and blend. Using this fluffy Real Techniques face brush, I'm just going to make sure everything is seamless. Make sure everything is blended well together. There's no product on that brush whatsoever. So now it's time to highlight. We're going to go into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sun Dipped Glow Palette. And we're just going to highlight our brow bone, our inner eye, nose, above our lip, and our cheeks. This is my favorite part. As you can see, I'm switching brushes. Just because I can now use a bigger brush for different parts of my face, I prefer this type of brush to highlight my cheeks, my nose, and my lip. I just feel like it's much more angled, so it gives it a smoother application. Now we're just going to line our lips with a brown lip liner that I got from my beauty supply store for like $1. And we're just going to line our lips top and bottom before we apply lip gloss. Today we're going to use Revlon Stay Lustrous lip gloss in the color Sky Pink. This is one of my favorite lip glosses at the moment. It is so glossy, so pink. And now we're just going to set our face with MAC's Fix Plus Matte. A couple sprays. And then we just fan our face to make sure it's dry. I'm going to fix my hair and be right back. And this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notification bell on so you know when the next video is coming. Thank you guys.